This is the show where I help high-achieving women push their limits, dominate their mindset, and take action towards their goals. It's about to get real, so buckle up and brace for impact. My name is Ashleigh Mayfield, and I am the high-achieving woman. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. So freaking excited to dive in today with the hashtag Ask Ashleigh. As always, feel free to message me with any kind of questions you have. You never know when I'm going to pull your question out and ask. And I will ask that you pay the fee. That is, make sure that you are engaging in the podcast. Make sure that you are sharing, that you are tagging, that you tag another high achieving woman friend that you want to be able to elevate, you want to be able to pour into, and you want to be able to help her move her mindset, her business, her leadership, her value, her confidence forward. And if you don't find any value, then I'm probably not the podcast for you. So let's dive into this Ask Ashleigh. Hashtag Ask Ashleigh. How do I take responsibility for my business? This was one of the questions that I got recently. I've actually feel like I get asked this question quite a bit, just from whether I am doing speaking engagements or speaking for other leaders, helping their team grow and expand. And, you know, it really comes down to action for me. When it comes to your business, when it comes to your career, your aspiration, whatever it is that you're fighting for, you have to take ownership. And, you know, we say that, like, as far as entrepreneur, solopreneurship goes, there's a day whenever you start, and then there's a day you come alive, right? And I know that there's like a saying as well, just even our own lives, there's a day we were born, and then there's a day we find out what our purpose was, right? And so that was very true in my business. You guys know that I run multiple businesses. I have a one-on-one mentorship and courses that I offer, the High Achievers Boot Camp. And then I have an online business where I help high-achieving women make an income from social media, be able to pay off debt, all that stuff. So when I first started my online business, you know, I definitely jumped in, and I can say that I was ignorance on fire. I actually really don't enjoy that phrase now that I think about it, but that's kind of what I was. It really wasn't ignorance on fire. I'm going to take that back. I was actually really focused. I knew exactly what I wanted, but it had nothing to do with the money. The company that I work for, they were sending everybody on a free cruise. And if I did XYZ, I was able to get on that cruise. And I had never been on a cruise, and I always wanted to go. And so I worked really, really hard, and I met my goal. And this is where I often preach about how you tie and die, that success will take you out. And I crossed my finish line. And it wasn't that I was ignorant on fire. I definitely was driven. I was focused, and I had clarity. And I mentioned that a lot, that clarity is king. You need clarity in whatever it is that you want. And I had a really big goal that I knew wasn't impossible, but it was definitely a mountain. It was a challenge. And that like filled me up. That made me excited. I was ready to conquer the mountain. I knew there was a lot of work ahead of me. And so it made me show up and want to take that action every single day. But then what happened along the way is I got exactly what I wanted. And I thought that the work that I had done, I mean, maybe I got a little lazy. I still felt like I was doing the minimum required, but it was just the minimum. I was kind of just floating. I had this false sense of achievement, false sense of fulfillment. And I really didn't reach any goal for the next 5 months after I did that first goal in 2 months. And I kind of just wandered. Month 8, and many people know this part of my story, month 8, I kind of woke up and realized, like, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And I have to be the one to make this change. And that is how I took responsibility for my business, is I realized it all comes down to action. Period. There's a lot of people that are going to speak for, and you have to be very, very mindful of these people. You have to be very mindful what message you receive from different people. I have a lot of like female friends that are high achievers that go after everything, you know, life has to offer. But, you know, they will say, oh, you know, you need to take a day off and you should work from flow. And they're starting to preach this anti-hustle thing. And that's fantastic when their bills are paid at the end of the day. Okay. But all of you listening to me, your bills are not paid at the end of the day. Your bills are not paid at the end of the month. If you took one day off, 2 days off, 3 days off, that would be catastrophic for your momentum, for your brand, and for the goals that you want to achieve. And so you got to be really mindful. And I'll be honest with you, at the success that maybe you presume, like the level that I'm on, which I will say, like, I don't live a normal, quote unquote, life, what society would deem normal. I have definitely climbed some mountains. I have 10x my income compared to what I was as a retail manager. I can't take a day off. That's exactly how I feel on the inside. Now, I'm juiced up by the hustle. I'm juiced up by the action because I know what it will bring. But this whole idea of like, oh, just let it be from flow, let it be. No, I believe in, casting big faith, praying, and setting big goals, and then taking massive, massive action. And so the massive action was the differentiating factor. I had to get to a point, month 8 in my business, where I took responsibility. And to me, what that meant was I had to come into the realization that no one was going to do this for me, that people could download the game plan for me, people could download the mindset for me. People could incentivize the goal line. They could wave the carrot, dangle the carrot on the stick for me. They could do all the other things. They could cheer loud for me. They could support me. They could, build me up and inspire me, but no one could take the action for me. That was something I had to do. And a lot of the reasons that we don't take action is because we don't do well looking like a beginner. Majority of us, we don't do well with criticism. We don't do well with opposition. We don't do well with being at the bottom, looking like a beginner, being silly, looking silly. And I just kind of had to get over myself in that. And I had to start taking massive action month 8, where it felt like month 2, I had reached this goal that I so desperately wanted. And then because I sat doing mediocre action for the next 5 months, the ball started going backwards. Like if you don't maintain, and this is where, I would rather take action every single day than not work for 3 weeks and hustle 1 week just to cross my finish line, because how do I want to explain this? Whatever that level of action is that you take that 1 week out of the month that you actually work your dream or your passion project or your side hustle, you have to maintain that level of action in order to keep it consistent. And so a lot of people have this start, stop, which kills them more. And doing minimum action kills you more than not doing anything at all, because you have this false sense of fulfillment. You have this false sense of pride that you're actually doing something when in reality you're not. You're just wasting your time. But I had to come and realize that, like I said, no one was going to take the action for me, that no one was going to take me under their wing and show me shortcuts. And I actually had to ask myself, do I even want the shortcuts? Because the shortcuts rob you. Everybody wants fast track success. Everybody wants to take the roller coaster and, to get there in 30 seconds or less. And that's exactly what is portrayed on social media. Like you're seeing those highlight reels, and you've got to be very careful the people that you follow and the content that you consume, because it will make you feel less than. It will make you feel like something's wrong with you if you don't have this overnight success story. If the first time you try something, it doesn't explode. I actually just followed a girl. I was so inspired. She started, one of my businesses, I teach, mindset courses and confidence coaching and stuff like that. And she launched a course, and I don't even remember her name, but I started following her on Instagram. I don't even know how I came across her profile. But she launched this course, and in 2 hours, she made $2 million. And then in 24 hours, she made a total of $3 million. And that sounds really pretty, but you have no idea what she did behind the scenes. You have no idea how many times she failed. And she doesn't show that side of it, right? And so you got to be really careful. And I'm not knocking her. Trust me, I was mega inspired, and I still am to this moment. But you've got to be really careful if you, I could approach that with massive amounts of respect, because I knew that didn't happen easily. I knew that wasn't an overnight thing, but many of you might not. If you don't have that higher level of thinking, if you're not looking at people and saying, what is it, the action they're taking behind the scenes? How many L's did they take? How many poop sandwiches did they eat in order for them to attain what it is that they have? And I've had to do that myself. I've had to realize that I don't want a shortcut, that I want to feel every single thing. I want to have the failures as much as I have the successes. I want to have the setbacks, because those are the greatest teachers that you will ever have. And if you want to take responsibility for your business, you have to realize that it's no one's responsibility to come and save you, that it's no one, your leader is going to disappoint you. Your mentor is going to disappoint you, because they're not meant to be this perfect being. They're not meant to come and be your savior. And so when you put people on a pedestal, and you elevate them beyond what they've ever asked for. These people don't ask for that. I don't ask for that, but people do that. And guess what? I promise you, I'm going to disappoint you. You're going to think that my aggressive, bold, fiery personality is funny when it comes to everybody else. But when it comes to you, it's not going to tee-hee be funny. Okay. You're not going to sit in the back and tee-hee-hee. You go boo-hoo-hoo. Okay. And so you've got to realize that you have to take massive action. Other people can show you a game plan. Other people can teach you mindset. Other people can do all these things for you. But if you're not taking the action, and that's what I did month 8, I decided to take massive action. I got really loud in my videos. I started producing more videos. I started writing more content. I started learning how to write copy. I started improving my messages. I started doing more voice memos than using my thumbs. I started getting on the phone with people. I took massive action. And what's funny is you can have the action without the mindset. You can develop and grow the mindset along the way. You can have the action without the game plan. You might run in circles eventually. Eventually, you will need the game plan, just like eventually you will need the mindset. But mindset and a game plan will never produce a monetary value like action will. Action is the greatest teacher. Action will humble you so fast because you will realize that you are not crap. And guess what? You need to realize that. Some of you need to be humbled because you sit in a level where you talk to 3 people and they don't want to buy your product. You talk to 3 people and they don't want to join your team. You talk to 3 people and they haven't bought into your vision. You talk to 3 people and they're tearing you down, and all of a sudden you're questioning. All of a sudden you're contemplating, well, is this for me? Which really means you stood for nothing to begin with, because if you don't presume, if you don't anticipate 3 people coming after you, 3 people saying no, whatever. I mean, my God, it's going to take you. It took me one time 300 people, 300 conversations just to get 11 people to purchase from me. 300. Some of you underestimate the work and the action that it will take. And so don't even put yourself in an elevated space where you don't think that you will have to go far above and beyond what you even think. And guess what? If along the way, if you're like, hey, I'm operating at a level 2, I'm going to aim for a level 10 every single day. At 7, you might see explosive success, but guess what? That's not going to derail you from doing a 10 every day. That's the thing that you can control. I can control my work ethic. And guess what? Because of that now, I put in probably a little bit more hours than I did in corporate America, but I was working 50 to 60 hours a week. I really don't take a day off. I don't take a moment off. In fact, I'm going to challenge myself next week, and that's going to be really hard. So we'll see how that happens. We'll see how that goes. But I'm probably working around 60 hours a week. And that doesn't mean I'm like full on all the time, but between running reports, messaging, content creating, developing, teaching, leadership, like doing mentorships, like all of this stuff, I probably work 60 to 70 hours a week. But guess what? I've 10x'd my income. So I am working slightly more hours that were comparable to corporate America, except I'm with my family. I'm in my own house. I have control. I don't need to ask permission to eat. I don't need to ask permission to go on vacation, to go to the bathroom. And I am making 10x the salary where I was capped at corporate America. That is the power of taking responsibility. It's not that you take this less action. And those people who sit back and make their life look like a vacation 24/7, that's fine. The people who can monetize their body and monetize their looks, maybe I am jealous of that. Like, that is incredible. But guess what? Looks and body fade. Okay, your looks are going to fade and your body is going to fade. So that's only going to last so long. People who look like they're vacation 24/7, they're lying to you. You don't see the hustle going on behind the scenes. The people that sit back and say, I'll just be in flow and the hustle culture and just slow and meditate every day and wow, and that. All of their bills are paid. You don't know how much their spouse is making. You don't know how much they've already capitalized years ago when they had a big boom and then they've invested and now they're making income that they're content living off of. So is it that they're trying to deter you from going after everything and giving you a false sense of success that if you just sit back and you only work 1 hour a day that you're going to get to this wealth that they have? Or are they trying to justify their inability to continue the hustle that they created because they really weren't as good as they thought they were? Man, I don't know. Sorry, that was like a whole breath, but I did not stutter. Okay. And so you can't believe these people. You need to work hard. You need to put in massive amount of action. You need to sacrifice, which coincidentally is actually my next point. how I took responsibility for my business was not just only taking action, but it was also my focus. This is also where people will take massive action, but if you don't have focus, if you don't know what action you're taking, why you're taking it, where you're going, I'm not talking about strategy. I'm not talking about a game plan. I'm talking about focus. And here's the deal. Your capacity to have focus will determine your ability to cross your finish lines, because I am telling you, bad days are coming. There's going to be opposition. There's going to be setbacks. And if you are focused, you will develop a level of resilience. It's not about how many finish lines you cross. It's about how many times you freaking get back up, because the more times you get back up, that will determine exponentially more the finish lines that you can cross. You have to not you have to not bow down to a victim mindset. You can take a lot of action and still have a poor me because you're not doing the right action, you're not doing effective action, whatever, okay? But you cannot have a victim mindset. And so I had to stay focused in the moments of opposition. I had to stay focused when people started talking crap about me. I had to stay focused when people who were making less money than me got jealous because I promoted faster than them. I had to stay focused when my circle changed. I had to stay focused when people underneath me started saying that I was a bad leader. I had to stay focused when I had a client say she didn't like the product. I had to stay focused. I had to stay focused. I had to be unwavering. I had to get back up because I believed in my product, I believed in my vision, and I believed in my future of where I was going. I had to stay focused when other people cross their finish lines faster than me. I had to stay focused when other people can make more money than me, but they're lazier than me. I have to stay focused. And so you take responsibility for your business by taking responsibility of what your eyes see. You have to see something before you can see something. Can I get an amen? Okay. And I had to see it. The disposition in my mind had to come before the position. But I had to stay focused. And that's how I took responsibility. It is no one, yes, some of my mentors, yes, some of the people that I've chosen to financially invest in have taught me how to keep my focus. And they've got strategy and tactics that are effective. Okay. And I've talked so much about focus because it's so needed. But at the end of the day, it takes action to be focused. It takes action to get back up. It takes action to protect my mindset. It takes action to unfollow the people that do not fill my cup. You have to have focus. If you want to take responsibility for your business, what are you focused on? Are you focused on poor me? Someone's not building me. Poor me. I don't have money like someone else does. Poor me. I'm not as good as other people are. Or holy crap, she's really good online. I might need to jack something. Like if I'm going to be a copycat, I'm going to copy that right cat. Okay. And so it matters. It matters what you're focused on. And so I had to focus on resilience. I had to focus on getting back up. I had to focus on dusting my knees off when I scraped, when I took L's, when I ate poop sandwiches. And guess what? I do that all the time still. I'm never going to come to you guys from the mountaintop. I still question, do I add value? I still question, do people like me? I still question, is my content good enough? I still question these things. But guess what? I have a resilience about me because I know where I'm going. I know where I'm headed. And I have to take that action to protect myself from myself. I've also had to make sure that my focus, it wasn't just resilience, but when we talk about focus, when you take responsibility for your business, you take responsibility, and not even just business, quote unquote, but this is future. These are aspirations. These are your dreams. Like you have to take responsibility for it. Okay, God would not have put it in your heart if he was not going to equip you to accomplish the mission. Okay. And that required from me, that required sacrifice. And there's a lot of people that will not take responsibility for their business because it's easier to blame because they're not willing to pay the price for what the next level requires. And I totally respect that. You want to know why? Because there was a season in my business where I was not ready to pay the price for the next level. I knew what the next level required. I'm not stupid. You're not stupid either. You know what it requires, but we'll live behind these bullcrap excuses of, oh, I just have to get lucky. Oh, it just works for everybody else but me. Oh, I'm just not good at this. No, it's not that you're not good at it. It's that you're not doing anything. You're sitting back and you're not willing to pay the price that your finish line requires. And I had to get that when month 8 started and I took responsibility of my business, I took responsibility of my mindset, and I took responsibility of my time and my focus. And I said, I really did say that whole phrase, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. But I had to move different if I wanted different. And my friend, if you want to be that high achieving woman that's on the inside of you, you have to do the same. If you want different, move different. Stop complaining that you are not equipped. Stop complaining that you need to be educated or that you need one more thing. You've got enough already on the inside of you. You just need to go put it to the test. And I had to realize that I had to move different than other people. And, a lot of people don't like being left out because it hurts them. They don't like seeing their friends going and partying on a Friday night. Guess what? I wasn't doing that. They don't like seeing their family go on vacation. Guess what? I was sending my husband to Disney World with the kids, which that sounds really good, but it was really like 2 hours away from us. I was sending him on day dates, and guess what? I couldn't go. I had to sacrifice because I wanted to create something different. I didn't want to enjoy a lifestyle that I didn't really have. And I knew that I needed to put my head down in a small amount of sacrifice. I sacrificed the first 3 years of my business. And within 3 years, before I even reached my third year anniversary, I made it to the top of the company. Why? And guess what? We didn't even start sacrificing until month 18. So it was from month 18 to month 34. Yeah. Month 8 let me back up. Month 18 is when we started paying off debt. It was month 8 to month 34. So what is that total? 26 months? 26 months I sacrificed. 26 months I sacrificed. The first 8 months I kind of piddled, and then month 34 I reached the top. Man, that is nothing. 26 months, that is nothing for the rest of your life. And that's what I did. I sacrificed. That's the responsibility that I took. Not like, oh, it's all in God's timing. Bullcrap. We serve a God of abundance. We serve a right now. We serve a suddenly God. But he cannot suddenly and right now what you won't put legs to. You have to take the action. And I believe that. I believe that if you got on your knees right now and you ask God for a word, that he has the capacity to deliver. But he can't deliver what you're not willing to act upon. And so if you really want the finish line that you have, you need to make sure, are you taking responsibility of your business? Are you investing the time and focus? And are you sacrificing? Are you saying no to things? And most people won't do that. Most people will not pay the price that I paid and that others before me have paid because they don't want to hurt people's feelings, or they don't want to feel left out, or they follow these people. Y'all, I can drop names of people who make their life look perfect. I've got the reports. Their life isn't perfect. They're not making money. They're barely scraping by, okay? And so you've got to be mindful whose content you consume, who's the real deal, and who's a facade. And if you don't have higher level thinking, you can't do that. And so you're not willing to sacrifice because you're like, well, so-and-so is on vacation all the time. So-and-so is living their best life and making money. So-and-so, no, they're not. No, they're not. You don't see what's going on behind the scenes, and you don't see their little paychecks. And so do you want little paychecks or do you want big paychecks? Do you want to ask someone when you could take a vacation, or do you want to take a vacation whenever you want? Do you want to ask permission before you eat lunch, or do you just want to be able to control your own time? That requires hard work, and it requires sacrifice. It requires hard work, and it requires sacrifice. I will say it again. It requires hard work, and it requires sacrifice. And that's what you need to do. And I want to challenge you today, no matter who you are, no matter where you're at, if you want to tap into that high achieving woman on the inside of you, you want to go to the next level, you want to be able to elevate, you want to be able to stand out, you need to take responsibility. It is all on you. It is no one else's fault. It is no one else's problem. And it is no one else's responsibility except yours.